Hello friends, you're the Lonesome Gamer and I'm playing 7 Ages. Again, a lot of things changed in the last turn. Here in South America, the Mochica appeared over here, and the Huns appeared, and that is actually the most interesting point because they can vacate areas. They have a strategist Attila, and that means that this guy can literally wipe out the whole Near East. The Sumerians, the Assyrians, maybe even the Egypt. It's very likely that he can wipe out all these ancient empires that were extremely successful the last turns. So that means we will see some significant changes in the next turns. And we also hear the Celts and the Free State, they kind of had an arms race. But it's now pretty obvious that the Celts are much ahead. They control a huge army there. And I'm pretty sure we're going to see an attack now here onto the Free State. So it is also pretty possible that the Free State will fall in the near future. Okay, so let's start this turn. The red player is the first player, and the pink, no, we will see a new empire here. The yellow player, he will start a new empire, and well, he has a few empires, or let me see. Yeah, he actually has 2 empires he could start. And it's an interesting question. I'm not exactly sure what I want to do with this guy. There are basically now 2 options. I could try to save Egypt by bringing in a few new by starting a new empire here in this area. And I got 2 empires here that I could start there. First, there are here the Hittites. They start in Cappadocia with $15. The chariots would be pretty cheap. So they could start here. And they would be able to attack the Huns in the next turn and to, yeah, maybe to help the Egypt a little bit. The others would be the Mitanni here. They start in Alamut, and that is actually exactly in this area where the Huns are right now. So, and they start with $18. Chariots cost 3. Huh. So we could do that. I think that's actually what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to start these guys there. And I'm pretty sure that I will die. I'm pretty sure I will not survive the start itself. But I think I have a decent-sized army with them that I can reduce the strength of the Huns quite a bit. The other option would be to play here the Siamese, and that is a great civilization. They gain points for being technologically advanced, for being rich, for being big in Southeast Asia. So these are all pretty cool things. And there is no one there in Southeast Asia yet. So that is a strong option. I think what I'm going to do is I will play for now the Mitanni. Do the battle here against Attila and the Huns. And then, if I lose this battle, and that's what probably will happen, I'm going to start the Siamese in the next turn in Southeast Asia. I think that's the best idea. This way the Egyptians might have a chance to survive. Otherwise, it is really hard for them. And yeah, let's do it this way. I think that's a neat idea. Okay, so they start with 18 bucks, and chariots cost 3. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna see a real big battle here, and we're not gonna see too many of these big battles in that game, I guess, but that's fun. Before we see the battle, the Mitanni, they are the ones in blue here, light blue, they play this barrage card. Play on an empire during conflict resolution. Well, actually that's not... I wonder... Yeah, that's conflict resolution. So, double the support value of its missile units for the remainder of this conflict. So, I don't know, these are horse archers. These are actually no missile units. Okay, so that doesn't make any sense anyway. Okay, so let's see. We got here the attacker. That's a 3, a 4, so that's 7, and an 8. That's 15. And the defender has 3, 10, 14. That's 20, 30. And in addition, he's got that defense modifier from the mountains. So that's 33, while the other guy has 15. So the attacker draws first. Whoa, that's a 7. That's pretty awesome. So that's 22. Hey, at least something. And the other one has 36. Okay. So the difference is now 14. Wasn't that great. So that means that Attila can keep 7 units. Well, that's a lot. Okay, so I guess he's going to throw away one of these. And that's basically it. That's all. That wasn't too impressive. But okay. Amazing. It's unbelievable how strong the Huns are. Okay. Just a little bit. I don't know if that's enough to save the Egypt, but, well, it was worth a try, I guess. Okay, and that was the end of the Mitanni Empire then. So, That goes away again. And then we see the production phase. And here the Irish, they will actually produce. Okay, let's see. Okay, the Irish generate $6. That's not great, but it's a start. So they place a spear here and another one here in England and the last one here on the Azores. Okay. Another production do the Minoans. Okay. Well, they still have the problem of the disorder marker here. So they gain $6. But that's not true. That's their income, and then they have to pay 3 for maintenance. So they gain 3, which brings them to 6. And that's enough to buy another ship, another galley. So they're down at 1. Here we go. That's our galley. And that's gonna end up here in the central Mediterranean. You can also produce in sea areas that you control, or even in ocean areas. Fine. And who's next? Oh, that's the end of the production action. So now we come to the trade in progress action, and the Free State, he's going to do a trade in progress. I mean, as I said, he's in trouble, but the point is, I thought about doing a production action with the Free State and maybe I don't know, bring another spear in here to the Ukraine to make it a little harder for the Celts to attack them. But first, I think it wouldn't have such a difference. The Celts have the cavalry, while the Ukraine only has infantry there, and pretty weak guys too. And second, it's only 1 weak additional unit. So I decided to do this trade in progress because if I trade with the Celts, I would gain the ability to build cavalry and ships. Right now, I don't have that ability. And well, in the unlikely case that the Celts should not attack this turn, then I still could hope to build some cavalry maybe in the next turn, or I mean, it's at least a perspective. But yeah, I don't see these guys last for long anyway. So let's see. I could also trade with the Huns. No, I cannot trade with the Huns because it's the same player. So I have to trade with the Celts, and they have a trade modifier of -1. Okay, that's kind of funny because basically nobody really wants to win that trade. The Free State only trades to gain the ability to build the ships and cavalry. And he doesn't have to win a trade for doing so. He just has to trade. But I'm going to check that again. Yeah, I'm pretty sure about that. They simply have to trade with each other, and then it would be fine. So the Celts, they get an additional victory point or a glory point if they liberate an area from a more advanced empire this turn. Okay. So that means the free state is exactly one step ahead of the Celts. So if they win that trade, they would not be longer more advanced. So they don't want to win that trade. The Free State, on the other hand, he exactly wants to be the Celts more advanced to prevent them from getting this point. So they also have no interest in winning this trade. So that means the Free State plays this card here, the 3, and the Celts, they play the 2. And now they both draw their cards, their 2 cards. First the Free State, he draws a 3 and a 2. Okay, so these are together 3 points. Remember, you add them and then half them and round up. So that gives them 3 points. Plus 3 is 6. And that's a Free State, and he has a trade modifier of 0. And the others, oh, that's a 6. And a 4, so that would be a 5 then. Plus 2 is a 7. And they have a trade modifier of -1, I guess. Yeah, that's a -1. So that is also a 6 then. Okay. I'm pretty sure on a tie, the one who initiated the trade wins. Okay, so in a tie, the one who initiated the trade is allowed to move the marker 1 step ahead. So usually if you win a trade, you can move it sometimes 2 or sometimes even 3 spaces ahead, but during a tie, it's only 1 space for the one who did the trade in progress action. Okay, so now they are allowed to build ships and cavalry, but yeah, they're still more advanced than the Celts, which makes it even more tempting for the Celts to attack the Free State. Okay, and we see another progress action, a trade and progress action done by the Mujica. And I have to shuffle the deck for this. So, as a matter of fact, it's kind of ridiculous. I think I'm simply gonna throw away. I wonder if I should do this trade action at all. I want to keep my other cards here. This card comes with Confucianism, which I might play in a few turns on the Chu. And this card is a copper mine, which I also want to keep. Apart from that, it has only a trade value of 0. And so does that card. This card is more or less completely useless, at least right now. I think I'm going to throw away that card. Maybe I draw a 0. It's not so important for these guys to win that trade. I basically just did it because they were most behind, but in the end it doesn't really matter if they are advanced or not. It's not very interesting for them right now. So basically I just traded with them because I didn't know what else to do. Usually I would have done a maneuver action, but the Chu already do this maneuver action. It's more interesting for them right now. And I didn't want to lose the glory point by using the wild card and doing also a maneuver action with them. So I decided to do this trade action. Okay, let's see what the deck has. A 4. Okay, so that means that they lose this trade and it doesn't give them any disadvantage. Okay, next we see is now the maneuver actions. And we start with the Huns, and well, this is gonna be some spectacular stuff now. Attila is leading his army into Mesopotamia, attacking the Sumerians and probably destroying this very ancient civilization, which was the first one that appeared as a high culture here in history. So let's see. Okay, so the attacker, they have a value of, let me see, that's 12, 15, that's 25, 28. And the defender, they have a value of 4, that's a 5, and that's a 7 then, because of the fortress. The fortress gives them +2. So the attacker draws first. Okay, well that is a 34 then. And they have a 10. Okay. Of course, Attila can keep all his units. The city is destroyed completely. The fortress is destroyed. The pyramids and the forum, these are also destroyed. Okay. There we go. 2 units. They also go away. And that's it. The most advanced civilization is completely extinguished by the Huns. And now actually Attila, for that, he gains a point, because a glory point. Value of each city liberated from another player. +2 if that forces that empire into a lower age. Yeah, if you lose a city, lower that empire's progress by the value of each city you liberate from that. Okay. So that doesn't make a big difference, but he gains a glory point for destroying the city. That's the red player. So here we are. And then he simply moves on, because he's a strategist. That means during a maneuver action, after resolving conflict, he can do a second maneuver action right away, and he attacks then here Assyria. Okay. So, I think it was 28, wasn't it? Exactly, that was 28. The Assyrians have exactly 2. So let's draw the cards anyway. It's simply just to... I mean, these empires can't be drawn in this turn, the empires from the resolving conflict step, and that can change the game. Okay, so the Assyrians... Assyria is also conquered by the Huns. The Assyrians lose their capital, and their leader, this explorer, that guy is killed, and of course also the unit. Okay, there we are. And that gives the Huns a second glory point. Okay, there we go. Here we are. Yeah, and things look right now a little bit different here, and they will change even more. I'm pretty sure about that. Okay, let's see who's next. Well, we see the Celts. They will also fight a battle. So these guys, they will move here into Illyria, trying to prevent the Romans to, well, you know, come from the side. And with the mountains here, they will gain a good defense bonus for that. So it's not going to be easy for the Romans to capture that. And well, let's see what else they can do. Huh. Okay, I will now simply attack. How many are there? Okay, I'm gonna attack here now the Ukraine with... let's see who exactly will attack. Well, that's basically fine. Maybe I should take this guy instead. Okay, so that's not... These guys go in the front. The cavalry and the infantry here stays in the back. And here we have the Ukraine, and the infantry here goes in the front, and the archer stays in the back. Doesn't look too good for the Free State now. Wonder if they have any special cards. Doesn't look like that. Nor do the Celts have anything good. Okay. So let's simply count. That's a 7 and a 6, so that's 13. And the others just have a 5. Okay. So let's draw for the Celts first. That's not that great. That's a 15. Oh gosh. And that stays a 5. So the Celts win this battle by 10, which means they don't lose anything of their army. And they control now here the Ukraine. Which is a pretty valuable area because of the wheat there. And then because they liberated a land there, that gives them a glory point, because these guys are more advanced. Okay. So, let's see. Do we see more movement? More maneuver? Yeah, the Chu. They will also maneuver. And they're simply going to spread out even more here in China. So let me see. 1, 2. Okay, so they're going to move here to Fujian with the galley, just always following the coast, Jiangxi, and let me see. Yeah, they want to take the leader, that builder. Ah, damn it. Okay, well, what I want to do is I want to bring that builder to that city here. So I'm gonna bring him here with that unit, and then take the other unit and go back, because a leader can only move with a unit, and the builder wants to be at the city because he is allowed to upgrade that city. Then the chariot can move. You can move through Sichuan and maybe move into Tibet or Yunnan. I'm not sure. Probably here to Yunnan. That is possible because he has 3 movement points. Yeah, the movement cost for mountains is 2. So that is fine. And these guys here move into... I'm not sure actually. They move... Let's move into Tibet then with these, and they can move here to Hunan. Okay. So that is now really a very, very big empire, and also really a wealthy empire. They will build more cities in the future. Their builder will help them doing this. So this is going to be quite impressive. Okay, we see another maneuver action from the Polynesians, and that's kind of sweet. They simply move with their galley to, well, I think to the Solomons actually. Yeah, why not? Does that make any sense? Yeah, I think so, it does. I think it does. Okay. So, that's the end of the maneuver phase. Then we come to the destiny phase. And, well, here, the Satavahana. No, that's... Yeah, no, it's absolutely perfect. The Satavahana, they will do a destiny action. And that means the green player will simply draw 4 more cards because he wants to hold on. Although I'm not sure, I could throw away the Woods Americans actually. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. On the other hand, I could also play that card. See it now. Play during Destiny. Target Empire may discard up to 3 of the cards it is drawing from the deck. If a card is to be discarded, it must be discarded prior to the replacement card being drawn. That's a pretty cool card. So let's play that Kismet. And then I can draw a few cards. Okay, the pink player also did a destiny action. And then we're going to see civilized actions by the Romans. And they can play artifacts and events. And there are actually, I think there are some. For example, we can start, and remember the Romans, they gain points for having the most artifacts. So the Great Pyramid was just destroyed that turn by the Huns, so it can be rebuilt now in Rome. And yeah, we're gonna play that we're going to play that artifact. So, yeah, here we are. And let's place it right in Rome. I think it prevents you from getting a disorder marker there. Well, then may end in the adjacent places. Then it might be even a better idea to play it in Cisalpine, because there we have 1, 2, 3 adjacent regions. So maybe that's even better. And that gives the red player another glory point. But there's more. The Great Wall, for example, can be played too. And well, let's see what that helps, what that does. Okay, so the Great Wall actually means that the area where that wall is and all adjacent land areas are treated, or the adjacent land areas of that empire are treated as having a fort. So there it is, the Great Wall, and we place it here in the Alps. So that makes it now really hard for the Celts to invade Rome. Not too hard, but definitely a little harder. And that gives the red player another glory point. He's really doing good. Or better. He's catching up with the others. So this goes away, this card. And I think there's more. Democracy. That is something we also might play. That would be our first government. I'm going to check how that works. Well, I decided not to play democracy simply because that would give me a penalty if I want to conquer land areas from other empires, and that's probably something I want to do. I'm not sure about it yet, but it is definitely, it's an option I want to keep. So I have now 2 of these artifacts, and so do the Egypts. But I can get Jesus as a leader, and he's a philosopher. So that means if we then are counting, if there's a tie in any of these Harvest Glory points, then I will actually lose. I will win that tie. So I would be the one, the empire with the most artifacts right now. Okay, are there any events or something I can play? Romans. Well, what about that one? Put a tribute marker on the border between target empire and a neutral area. As long as the control of neither area changes, the marker remains and the empire earns income from the neutral area during production. Well, that's kind of neat. But on the other hand, I have the option here to play the Picts, the Scots. And I think I want to hold on to that option, but I'm not sure. I mean, the Parthians, I could also play the Parthians. I really don't know. Probably play these guys. Yeah, okay. I think we won't see the Scots in the future, in the near future. So I play that tribute card. Okay. I'm not sure if it is possible, actually, but I'm not even sure I want to place that marker. I thought about placing it in Morocco. This, to me, that indicates they are adjacent. It's not clearly written in the rules that also counts for things like markers. It counts for movement as adjacent, but I think it should be possible. So I guess I'm going to place that marker here. I don't want to place it here because, you know, the Irish could simply land here. I mean, they also could land here in Morocco. Damn, I don't know if I should place it. I have no idea where I should place that marker. Okay, let's roll a die. Either the Normandy, the Castile, or Morocco. Okay, it's the Normandy. Fine. So we have that marker now here. There's also a risk that they will land in Morocco because they might go for the Christianity, and then Morocco might be helpful for the Irish as an outpost, because that will bring them closer to the Minoans. Okay, so that tribute marker is now in Normandy. And that's, I guess, the end of my play artifact and event cards step. And now we could remove a leader, but that's something we don't want to do. And we can promote a leader. And now Jesus, he will actually show up in Rome. Right there. And he's a philosopher and a religious leader, and I gotta check what that exactly means. Okay, well, these religious leaders, I'm not sure if they are that amazing. They basically help you to prevent some special events from some event cards. Your empire is immune to that. Another interesting point is the destiny actions, though. If you play a destiny actions, you discard your cards beneath the discard pile, and then you can choose if you want to draw from the top of the draw deck or from the top of the discard pile. So that's kind of a fun option, but yeah, I don't know if it's that strong. But this guy is a philosopher, so that's what makes him strong in my opinion. Okay, so that was the religion, the promotion of the leader. Now, adopt religion or government. Yeah, not sure if I want to do that. I could become Christian. It is possible because I'm adjacent to the Minoans. And, well, that would give me another artifact, which is cool. And I think I might actually do that. Okay, I have to place a disorder marker in my capital. That's not that great. On the other hand, my capital right now, that's a fertile area, and it only has a city of value of 1. So maybe that isn't so bad. It's pretty easy to regain control then. And I would gain another artifact, which is also good for me, for my glory points. And Yeah, it also allows me to expand a little faster. So I think I'm actually going to do that. So the Romans will become Christian, and that makes also thematically sense now that Jesus showed up in Rome. I mean, it's just natural. Huh? There is a problem though. If the Romans become Christian, the Irish could also become Christian in a much easier way. But okay, I mean, at least they would not be the biggest Christian empire then, because that would be probably the Romans. So I guess it's fine. I guess I can do that. Otherwise, the Celts could also become Christian. I don't know. Yeah, I think it's fine. I'm going to do that. So that gives me another glory point, actually. And here we are, Romans. And we see a disorder marker. What the heck? Oh, come on here. There we are. Okay. In Rome now. Okay. Okay, so and then we're going to modernize, which is not possible, but we can urbanize. We can build 2 cities. I don't want to improve Rome because that would make it even harder to remove the disorder there. But I could build a city here in Sicily and another one here in Cisalpine, I guess. Could also build one in Andalusia. I'm not sure. Sicily and Cisalpine is fine. So we have a city here. And on the other hand, I'm going to place that city here in gold because Caesar, he's a populist. And a populist will raise the value of a city by 1 if it is adjacent. And I think by 2 if it's on the same space. I'm not sure about that actually. But with adjacent spaces, it raises it by 1. So in this case, that gives me another advantage here. Okay, and then we could remove disorder if we had the money to do that. But that is not the case, sadly. Anyway, Rome, I think they made a big leap forward. They did really well. That was a great turn and a very interesting one for Rome. And by the way, they would gain, of course, another glory point for adopting Christianity. And then we see another civilized action by the Egyptians. And they're also going to do some interesting stuff. I mean, there is this big threat here by the Huns. And they will probably attack in the next turn. And if that should happen, if Egypt will fall, well, then the whole empire is gone. If the area of Egypt falls, yeah, that's basically it. And they have a few problems to handle. First, there is this disorder marker there in Egypt, which, if they should produce, that wouldn't count as income. So that means that gives them $8. This is their most valuable area by far. This one is not that great. So that would be pretty much a disaster. They have to get rid of this disorder marker. That is the first thing. The next problem they have is that Attila obviously has an amazingly strong army. And even if we would now be able to produce a few units, we wouldn't stand a chance against him. But thanks to our trade in the last turn, we can now tame elephants. So that would allow us now to, if we can make it into Sudan, if we can control Sudan, we can produce an elephant, and an elephant will actually allow you to ignore all frontline values of cavalry units. And the Huns only use cavalry, so that would be definitely a big advantage for the Egypt then. Even though it's still not won the war, but it would be a start. And then there is another problem. Even if we could produce, we can only place 2 units, one in Egypt, one in Nubia. But because it's a second age, the Egypt can bring Cleopatra into play, and Cleopatra luckily is an administrator, and that would reduce the unit's cost and would allow us to place all units in the administrator's area. So now, you see, if we do that civilization action in a clever way, that could really help us quite a bit. So first we can play some artifact and event cards. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, it's a little late for that. Oh no, I forgot things like that earlier on already. I should have played the Strange Omen. Play this immediately any artifact card is played. That would have slowed the Romans a little bit down. But anyway, I mean, I made mistakes of that kind earlier on too. So I think I will not change that right now. What I can do is I can play the Silver Mine, and that gives the Egyptians $20. And that is definitely something they need if they want to build a good army. Okay. They might have a chance to survive this. That would be just so awesome. Okay. I wonder if the Huns have a card to cancel that, but they don't. Okay. And then you can they can promote a leader, and they're going to search for Cleopatra here. Where is she? Damn it. Okay, so there she is. And as you can see, she's an administrator, and that might save Egypt in the end. they can adopt a religion or government. Well, they will do this. They will also become Christian. Simply for the reason, in the next turn, that will allow them to convert Sudan into their own country. So they could then, because they only have one turn left, and that would not be enough to move to Sudan, which is necessary. You have to control the elephants and then to produce units. But if they can do this, if they get this free maneuver action to Sudan and can convert this country as their own, before they produce, then this is possible. So it's a perfect option for them. And on the other hand, it doesn't give the Minoans the possibility to place these religious disorder markers again in Egypt. So that is definitely something they want to do. Okay, so Christianity spreads quite a bit now. And that is placed on the Egypt card. So that gives the Egypt, or the yellow player, a glory point. And we cannot place a second disorder marker there. So there is no disorder marker placed then. Then we can urbanize, but that is not possible because, well, is it? Yes, we can actually improve that city here to a level 3 city because we are already in the second age. And finally, we can now remove disorder, and that is something we actually can do because thanks to the silver mine, we have the necessary bucks. So we can pay now $7, and the disorder goes now away. And now it's looking not that terribly bad for Egypt. It's still going to be a very, very close fight, I guess. But there is a chance left now. Okay. So that was then the end of the civilized action. We see a discard empire action. The Assyrians, they're going to go away. There is no hope for them. And the gray player thinks, okay, let's discard these guys. I will lose a glory point if I hold on to them, simply because they don't control their hometown anymore. And the Huns would gain a glory point if they kill that single chariot. So we don't need these effects, obviously. So right now, actually the gray player, recently still the most successful one, but right now he only controls one empire, only the Minoans. So we've seen a lot of changes during that turn and a lot of really interesting things developing now. Okay, so let's do the glory. The Free State, again. No glory for them. It might be about time to destroy them. I mean, basically I kept them there to keep the Celts a little occupied so that the Romans can develop. The Free State is also controlled by the same player who controls the Romans. But, I mean, they really don't do any good anymore. Let's see, maybe I will discard them. I'm not sure yet. We'll see about that. The Romans, well, they will rock. That's pretty obvious. So that is one for their hometown. Let's see. How much do they have in Europe? Are they number 1? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The Celts also have 6, but Jesus as a philosopher... Oh, by the way, the Celts still have this disorder there. Oh, but I made a mistake. Because the Celts did a maneuver action. At the end of a maneuver action, if there is a number of units equal to the defense value of the terrain plus 1, then you can discard the disorder. And that's exactly what happens here. The defense value of this would be a 1. So there are 3 units in there. 2 would have been good enough. So that means he can remove that disorder marker, which is nice. But still the Romans are the bigger ones because of the philosopher, and they're also first in the turn order. So that gives them 3 points, so they are at 4. And then they gain 2 more points for having the most artifacts. Right now these are 3 artifacts. The Egypt also control 3 artifacts, but again Jesus will save them. And yeah, that's amazing. 6 points for the Romans. That is really impressive. And they also made a lot of points in this turn for playing all these artifacts. So overall, I guess in this turn the Romans generated 9 points, and that is just amazing. So they are now here. They did a big leap during this turn. The Huns. Let's see. Well, they're not that great. They gained 2 points for attacking these guys, which was cool, but now they don't gain any additional points. Still, very successful turn for the red player. What about the Celts? Well, the Celts are second in Europe, so that means they gain 2 points for that. The Irish, 2 points for them too, for their hometown or homeland, and number 1 in Britain. And this is it for now. The Satavahana, 2 points for them, hometown, and number 1 in India. Not a bad turn, but by far not as good as the red one. So they are now actually pretty far behind. The green player is not doing that great now. But hey, if the Irish can adopt Christianity, which should be possible, actually I think it's not possible yet, because they are not adjacent to the Romans, and their range is still only 1, because they are still in the first age. But in the next turn it might be possible for them. Okay, the next one is then the gray player, and well, he's definitely not that great anymore. He controls his homeland. He is still number 1 if it comes to the controlled ocean spaces. So that gives him 2 more points. And what about the fleet size? Well, as crazy as it seems, yeah, because of the turn order, he also has the biggest fleet. Well, he definitely has, actually, not because of the turn order, but these are 2 ships here. Shouldn't forget that. Okay, yeah, so that's actually pretty amazing. So this guy alone will generate 5 points. That's also pretty impressive for a single empire. 3, 4, 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. But I think I'm going to play that now. I should have played that before, but play at the start of the Harvest Glory. Half the glory every empire earns. I think the gray player will do this. So let's see. We're going to go back then a little bit. Okay, actually this is a little bit of an advantage for the gray player. These, both of them gained 6 points each, but because of that, this is halved, so they only gain 3 points. And the gray player, he still gains 2 points. He still gains 3 points instead of 5. So that's not so bad for them, for him. The Chu, well, they are now greatest in the world. So that gives them 4 points, brings them down to 2 then. That's the pink player. And these guys, the Chavin, this would be 2 points, so 1 for him. The Egyptians, the yellow player, well, they control their homeland and Africa, so overall, and they are number 2 if it comes to the artifacts. So that would give him 3 points, so that's 2 for him. And the Polynesians, well, they might actually, yeah, they are number 2 in the world. If it comes to the control of ocean areas. So that means they will actually generate 2 points. But only 1 for them in this turn. Okay. Fine. So again, the red player catched up quite a bit, and well, it's going to be interesting. And the next turn we're going to see this conflict here between the Huns and Egypt. This is going to be amazing. The Irish are still trying to adopt Christianity, but it's not much easier for them that the Romans have it. The Celts, still a very powerful empire. They can expand even more probably in the next turns. The Shang, they're really flourishing. Amazingly strong and wealthy empire. And probably here, the Satavahana and the Chavin, they will spread out, I guess. We'll see about these things. Hope to see you in my next turn. Until then, or my next video, or on lonesomegamer.com. Until then, bye.